Namaste programs and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, Alaskan Bush Trip 9 from Port Hayden to Pilot Point, PAPH to PAPN. Alright, let's get going. Sorry about that. I have tried to make sure the controls are correct, but I don't think it's gonna work. It seems it only works once you get into the air. Well, I don't know why that is. There we go. You just have to do it every time you fly in the air, apparently. So, 20 degrees for 12 minutes, 26 seconds. Well, let's get to 20 degrees. I don't know why we're not climbing. There we go, that's better. Alright, Cove. From Port Hayden Airport, head north and follow the coastline as it arcs northeast. In the shadow of Aniakchak Crater to the east, you will pass over various rivers carving their way to the sea. Farther on, pools and lakes pockmark the plains, their numbers increasing until you reach a wide cove of tidal flats. In 12 minutes. Right, well, plenty of time to enjoy the scenery, I guess. I'm just wondering whether I'm going to have to reinstall this game every time. So not only did I need to change the controller profile back and forth to get the plane under control, it also constantly changes my left and right camera. Round the wrong way every single time. So I don't know what's going on. It's just madness. Let's level off. Power down a bit. Get some speed up. Have a look around. Enjoy the scenery a bit. Didn't start my clock. I have started the clock now, so we're probably, 2 minutes in of 12. Doesn't really matter. We'll rely on the purple line, especially over a segment that's 12 and a half minutes long. Over completely flat plains. Just ditched the mountains, left them for dust over there. I'm sorry, I'll come back, I'm sure. Wow, there's actually only 3 segments on this leg. A 12-minute one, a 10-minute one, and a 2-minute one. So, obviously not much to look at on this particular segment of the bush trip, this leg, but... I mean, obviously plenty to look at, but nothing, sightseeing-y like the other legs have been. Hop to this island, have a look at that mountain. I don't know where we are exactly, whether this is an island or the main part of Alaska already. I think it's still islands. No towns, no roads, no cities, just rivers and plains. Swamps probably, although maybe, I don't know, do you get swamps when it's cold? Is swamp a kind of tropical thing? I don't know. Again with the questions. Always with the questions. I've probably done about 4 minutes of 12, so, stick with me. Stay awake. Drink some Gamer Fuel or something, or G Fuel, or whatever it is you drink. I don't drink caffeinated drinks. I love coffee. I loved coffee. I was a huge coffee fiend for most of my life. Eventually decided to see if the migraines I were getting constantly had anything to do with caffeine, because caffeine is apparently quite a common cause of migraines. Went through 3 weeks or more of hell to get off the coffee. And guess what? The migraines went away. I've run out of fuel. Well, actually, I haven't run out of fuel. I just need to... Come on. Let me have a look at it. There we go. Nice. Science. I tried to refuel as we landed yesterday, but obviously it didn't stick, and I didn't bother. Like I kept saying, I'm going to forget if I have to remember at the beginning of the trip. I forgot. I forgot to refuel. Now, unless we get down to the yellow, I will... See, the other annoying thing is, I left the plane when we landed it with the right fuel tank selected, but it's regenerated it to be the left fuel tank. How dare ye! I am going to climb a little bit because we lost a bit of height there. And we're probably 6 or so minutes in, halfway there. I mean, we're heading to a wide cove of tidal flats, so probably the water off in the distance there. You'd think there'd be a noise for running out of fuel, before running out of fuel. What do I know? Right, we're probably high enough now that I can do this. I was going to have a look at these. Yeah, that one's still pretty full. And that one's empty as, bro. Very nice if I could trim the rudder on this plane so that I'm not constantly flying off into the wind or being pushed by the wind. But no, apparently it don't exist. Okay, we're high enough. We can go back to our cruising trim and power. It really wants to go to the right. It does not want to go straight in the slightest. Wow, look at these tidal flats. Crazy. Guess that's what you call them. That's what we're heading to in the distance there. So we've done maybe 7 or 8, maybe nearly 8 minutes, depending on how long it was before we remembered to start the clock. And by we, I mean me, obviously. It's not your fault I didn't start the clock. Although, you know, if you want to take the blame, feel free. Right, just realised what the issue is. This whole control thing not sticking and changing things constantly has also changed my dead zone. So it wasn't so much that the wind's pushing me to the right, it's just that my controller has a sort of natural tendency to send it to the right unless I put a dead zone on. Which is normal. Controllers do always, just because they're analog, have a bit of a bias to them. Especially if I rest my thumb on it. But there, make it a little less sensitive and it will stop going to the right constantly. There we go, look at this. Actually almost level flight. Jesus. Why is it resetting my controls? all the time. I'm gonna have to look up to see if that's a known issue. And if it isn't, I guess I have to reinstall Flight Sim or just put up with it. And I think the latter is the case I'm going to go with because, yeah, it's a 120 gigabyte fucking install. And takes a little while to download and install, even on super fast 500 megabits per second internet. The install time was the limiting factor, and download goes pretty quick. So, pools and lakes pockmark the plains, and wide coves. So I guess this cove up here in about, I would think 2 or so minutes we're going to arrive. Is where we've been headed this whole time. This little cove here. Oh, they look a little bit algorithm destroyed. It's a hippopotamus. I call it Hippopotamus Lake. Named it. This controller issue has got me perplexed. I do unplug my Xbox controller between sessions. I mean, it's always plugged in when I open the game, so that really shouldn't make any difference. Who knows? Who knows? Here's more of these lines across. I want to know what that is. Some kind of artifact of the algorithm. It's almost like this area hasn't been mapped properly. Like these sharp edges and things like that. The game's not usually like that, so it's almost like that stuff's slow res. Maybe this hasn't been as mapped out as some other places, you know, topographically and where the lakes are and whatnot. Maybe it's just a product of the level of the water the game's rendering or something for now, for the time of day. Don't know. Alright, we've hit 11 minutes, but that was late, so we've got 12 and a half minutes. Depending on how far we were flying to begin with, plus there was having to get up to speed, so yeah, we're probably another, well, 30 seconds, a minute at least, until the purple line wants to take us ever so slightly to the right. There it goes. Oh, it was sooner than I thought. Alright, we're now doing 30 degrees for 10 minutes 24. This time we're going to remember our clock. There we go. Ugashik Bay. Continue northeast past the tidal flats, following the coastline towards the opening of Ugashik Bay. Not even much to say. So this is really kind of a transitory leg. Not much touristing to do other than just this nice little coastline here. Just getting me to the next airport, I guess. Oh, 10 minutes. Well, where's that going to get us? Oh, to this bay. Is this Ugashik Bay? Yeah. Oh, it's a long way away. the render distance of this game is just... Oh, it's so good. It just feels so real looking out at those mountains in the background there. I mean, if you look closely enough to the clouds, they're a little bit, you know, weird in their edges and stuff like that. But, you know, squint your eyes and the whole thing looks perfectly real. Goodbye, whatever. I forgot the name of your bay already, and them tidal flats. Goodbye. Thank you for having me. Get back on course here. Not much to look at this way, but hey. Still part of natural splendor of the planet Earth. Marvelous. Marvelous. Alright, so 2 minutes done of 10.5. It does look like that's the bay we're heading to. That'll be about 10 minutes away. Well, 8 minutes away now. Big lake here with its sort of algae edges. We've got Mervyn Ellis and Alan Gee. Wouldn't be a Chaz Rover video without a terrible pun or two. Especially on long 10-minute, 12-minute segments like this. If you've watched my videos before, you know I can get a little bit nutty. These lake ponds, whatever you want to call them, are just... How have they come about? Why is that lower than the stuff around it? Are they craters? Are they just water erosion has made them, you know, deep? A different kind of rock in that particular area? I should have done geology. Fortunately, the story of my educational life is anything I'm interested in, I'm terrible at, and anything I'm not interested in, I'm pretty fucking good at. So, you know, while I would have loved to have done, you know, astronomy and geology and biology, all of that kind of stuff, I never really headed that way because I was just better at the hard sciences and technology. Which, you know, I don't hate technology, but hey, I know how to program VCRs. And that got me to fixing computers and working on computers and making IT decisions, doing websites and shit. And now I'm a carer for a 97-year-old, so I guess I'm an all-rounder. What are we looking at? 4.5 minutes, so another 6 to go. Weird how that camera works. Alright, anyway, I'm getting a bit distracted. We've got, we're about halfway there now. We've hit the sitting on a chair point. It's another big, what are they calling it? Chic Bay. It's a big one. Sort of feels like the kind of bay that would have industry on it, but well, we're way too far out to see if there is anything. But and there's obviously an airport somewhere around here. But looking at the picture of the airport, it looks like someone just painted a grey line in the middle of one of these floodplains. So I don't think it's going to be surrounded by a city. In the city. .30 of 10:24. 4 minutes to go. The end of this segment is nigh. In the city. Let's power down just a bit because we're kind of still climbing, or have been. Hadn't really been paying attention to that, and we've gradually gone up 2,000 feet. I'd rather be around 2,000 for when we get to the next leg, which is a short one, to the airport in the next segment. And yeah. Don't really want to be at a ridiculous height and then having to try and drop out of the sky quickly. Try and manage things, you know, as in a reasonable time frame here. Be proactive about it. Anyway, 8 minutes has just ticked over. We're nearly at the bay here. I imagine the purple line will turn us when we hit the water of the bay itself, but that's just the thing it does. That's its raison d'etre. Just amazing how flat all of this is and how far it is flat, you know? These huge mountains are all in the distance there, but then this whole area is just flat. I guess it was all underwater at one point. It's been eroded down. I don't... That probably makes sense, I guess. All of this was volcanic, mountainous stuff at one point, but then, you know, as the whole continental thing gradually lowers itself back into the earth, all of this has ended up underwater, and then now the water levels have gone down, so it's above water. In the same way that the middle of Australia, which is all completely flat, used to be an inland sea when the water levels were higher. And yeah, the floor of the sea tends to end up being quite flat. As the water just sort of Brownian motions its everything and sands itself down over billions of years. Really quite fascinating, really, when you think about it. Alright, we've just hit 10 minutes, 24 seconds to go. I'm guessing it's probably going to be about right time. We're about to hit the water. Wow, look at that. An alien planet, which of course we've never seen an alien planet really, well, you know, except for Mars and the solar system planets. But it's like the kind of scenery that people who make sci-fi movies use as alien planets. There we go, nailed it. Alright, well, we should be turning pretty soon. IMO, we're past 10.5 minutes. Obviously Purple Line wants us to go further into the bay. Here we go. 60 degrees for 1 minute 51. Reset our clock. Pilot Point Airport, a quick cut across to the eastern side of Ugership Bay, and you'll find the waiting runway of Pilot Point Airport. There it is. I can see it already. In fact, we're going to need to... Our proactiveness has not been proactive enough. That's it there, I think. Yes, our topographical map is showing a black line. That's an airport. That's a runway. That's amore. Again, I'm going to ask this question every single time. What is this airport doing here? What's it servicing? Is it just for people doing bush trips like this? Do they just sort of... I mean, there is a road that's heading off, but it only seems to be to the airport. Alright, well, we need to lose some height here, so... Let's get our flaps down. There we go, that's feeling a bit better. We'll come in perpendicular for now. Keep trying to lose some height. Do we have too much speed? I don't think we do. I think we're pretty good. We can start turning. Get our nose in position. Try to judge at least now here whether we're coming in too steep or not. I think we're okay. Right now we're doing alright. Actually, yeah, we might be coming in a bit short, which is good because we can always put more power to go long. We can't do the reverse. 500, thank you very much. Appreciate you. In fact, I don't feel the need to give any power whatsoever. Oh, maybe we are coming in slightly short. Watch out, truck. I see you there. Get away from the airport, truck. We don't need your kind here. We can get to here, and I think we're going to be okay. Maybe not. Light little bit of power just to get us to the air runway. There we go. Now we can be certain. We would have been alright anyway, but didn't want to risk it. One bounce and down, back wheel on, and we can slow it down and refuel. Yes, we hit the refuel. Nice. Leg completed. A calm little 30 minutes there. Leg 9 of the Alaska bush trip. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you can join me for the next one. Au revoir. Goodbye.